Today I'm looking at something which is a bit of a science experiment, but is also a great bit of kit for adventurers and outdoors people, and by the by, could improve the health and life of millions of people in the third world. This is the BioLite CampStove. It's the product of a small startup in Brooklyn, New York. It was invented actually as part of a range of gadgets to help people in the third world, to address particularly the problem of people cooking on open fires in their own homes, which is responsible, according to the World Health Organization, for more deaths than malaria and tuberculosis put together across the world per annum. But it's also a great bit of kit, because today, if all goes well, and I'm going to call this an experiment, I'm going to cook that, and I'm going to turn this into this. The BioLite CampStove is fueled by twigs, known these days to the friends of the earth or even distant acquaintances of the earth as biomass, and it's a lot healthier to burn than gas and paraffin and all those kinds of things. The twigs with a bit of kindling are going to go into the combustion chamber here. This orange part here is a fan which kind of whooshes air through the burning combustion chamber, so it improves the fire and also makes it a lot hotter and more efficient. Now, what powers the fan, because fans need electricity? Well, that's where it gets interesting. This is a heat probe here. It picks up excess heat from the cooking process, from the fire burning, turns it by means of a TEG, a thermoelectric generator, into a trickle of power. There's about 2 watts of power, which is plenty enough to recharge the fan, but also a little USB here, because there's enough excess power once the thing is going really hot to charge something like a mobile phone, possibly a sat-nav, possibly even some LED lights if you're in a remote village or you're out on a mountaintop. So I'm going to have a go at doing this live. The first thing I'm going to need is some kindling here. Now, luckily this kind of stuff is pretty common in the autumn in this country. I've just dropped my pine cone there, but I think we'll be okay with these little bitty bits. Then we'll put a couple of little twigs in to start. Before I put the match in, I'm going to hit this button here and start the little fan. It starts on low speed. It only allows a high speed and a real whoosh when the heat gets up inside, which hopefully won't take too long. Here we go. We have fire. I have made fire. I mean, the matches kind of made the fire, but is that cheating? I don't think so. So the little smoke there is when you put fresh wood on, like now, is pretty much non-toxic, because it's when you get into paraffin and all these manufactured fuels that you really get terrible health problems. Anyway, let's see if we can first of all cook an egg. So we'll take the pan. A little bit of oil is in order. This isn't the official BioLite pan, so I'm going to be a bit careful with this because I was never very good at frying eggs. Fires and eggs are my two worst, but we're cooking away there. We're getting the idea. This is not an object lesson in egg frying. But what's happening right now is that while my egg is cooking, inter alia, the green charger light is on, because the heat is really now developing around that probe. So now I'm taking the USB cover off. The egg's getting a bit incinerated here, but we're not really in the egg cooking business here. Doesn't smell too bad. Connect the USB, and all being well, that will then burst into life. Whoa, it's vibrating. There we go. We're charging using nothing but found twigs. We've cooked an egg at the same time, which is all pretty good news whether you live in a third world village or if you're thinking one day of going seriously off-grid, but don't want to be so off-grid that you can't make a phone call. Now, I think the CampStove is pretty remarkable, but it's just the beginning. It's the center point of a whole BioLite ecosystem. I've got a couple of other BioLite gadgets here. This is the kettle pot, which slots right on top there. With this, you can do everything from a cup of tea for 2 to a meal for 4, and they've got this kind of pouring arrangement at the top. So that's just one bit of BioLite kit. And here's another one, which I think is really pretty impressive. This is the BioLite grill. If I just take the top off, you have a thing which will extend out here. So we bring those legs out. This then places on top of there. You feed your twigs in there to keep the fire going, and you could do anything from a small barbecue for two to grilling to cooking. It's a real cooker, and the whole thing just packs down into a pack which can be carried on the back or whatever. Pretty impressive gadgetry all in all. The whole bundle with the cooker, the grill and the kettle come in at a shade under £200. There are more products coming down, so this is your chance to grill, boil, barbecue and charge at the same time. That's BioLite. Thanks for watching Technopolis TV.